Good morning, vloggers. We are in Bollullos, Spain. Today we're touring a winery. We're going to get to see wine produced here in the south of Spain. And this is a particular bodega, which is a cooperative. All the farmers got together and kind of started this winery. And the students are going to get to see how we go from grapes coming in to wine going out. And we'll have a little sampling too. So we'll see how that goes.
What is that?
There you go. We'll turn that into some wine. So this is the station where the grapes come in. The little hopper trucks full of grapes come in. They have an auger there, this little silver piece hanging down right here. We'll go down into the middle of the grapes and sample the grapes and see what the sugar content is, and then they'll weigh it, and then they'll go around here to here and then dump their load down into this auger. It's kind of got a little trash blowing in there. This is not harvest season. And then that auger will auger the grapes over into a press down here, and then from that press, the juice, the crushed grapes get sucked up through these pipes over into this building, and we'll see what happens over here next. So this is the second stage. These big stainless steel vats here. This is only held for like a day. Students are kind of amazed that it's not as clean as they've seen in the States, but this is not a tourist winery like they're used to around Fredericksburg in Central Texas. Anyway, it comes out of here, and some of the trash is filtered out of it, stems, husks, seeds, etc. And then that's pressed again for perfumes and cosmetics and medicinal things. They get every bit of sugar that they can out of this. What we're seeing here are some of the older casks that they used to keep it cool, to keep it from fermenting too fast. You have to keep the wine cool, and so this would be flooded with water continuously, these old concrete tanks here, to keep the wine cool. Now the newer tanks use, you can see right here, a cooling tower, and they're used refrigerated tanks now to keep it cool, to keep it from fermenting too fast, which is not good for winemaking. The filling station, filling each bottle, and then you got the corker there, putting the cork in each one. And they come around to the labeler, get labeled, come around here, putting a seal over the top of them, and then on this side they get boxed. This is an automatic boxing machine, puts 6 in a case, and then spits the full cases out over here, ready to be palletized. They're making dry red wine today. Not my favorite. There you go. This station here is turning them upside down and then rinsing the bottles out, rinsing them out with water while they're upside down, the cleaning station. Because the bottles are just out here in an open warehouse, just exposed to the air and bugs and whatnot. So this is the main aging facility, and your brandies and sherries are made here. And what you have is, on the very top up here is the newest wine. And then as the year goes by, it'll get transferred to the next barrel down, and then the next barrel down, and then they'll take material out of the bottom barrel, and that's what we'll sell. It's been in there the longest. And so you get this mixing by transferring from one barrel to the next. You get this mixing, which gives you a very consistent product. And then this room has a clay floor. This is the same clay like at the Bull Ring in Sevilla. And this clay absorbs moisture, keeps the humidity level very constant in here at all times throughout the year. And so that's where they age all the brandies and sherries in here.
You can see over here, check this out. Wait, what? Jake? We adventured. Look at this. Yeah, we adventured and already did it.
Left our mark.
All right. So yeah, you can see some other things.
You're going to the winery jail, Jake.
Yeah, just be.
And then finally, here's a shot of some of those refrigerated tanks that are finishing the wine. There's a bunch of them.
You can see it's grape and I here, over our heads, okay? And it will represent, it wants to represent a bunch of experience, like all the experience that you can find in a cellar.
And at the end of our tour, of course, just like every good theme park ride, we gotta run you through the gift shop, right? So here's a bunch of students looking for some gifts to bring back to the States. Maybe mom and dad get a nice bottle of wine from Spain. Right, Joe? Vinagre? Or is that the orange wine?
No, this is the vinegar.
Vinagre, okay, great. Welcome to Matalascañas, which is the beach here that's closest to Sevilla. And we're going walking down the boardwalk towards the sand. We just got off the bus. We're gonna eat some lunch, seafood, of course. And then we'll dip our toes in the sand. What are y'all doing today? Sorry you're not here. Little beach shops, you can buy you a beach towel or a volleyball. And this, my friends, is the Atlantic Ocean, Matalascañas. Looks like there's not very many people here today. It is a Friday, and it hasn't been super hot here in Sevilla yet. We haven't had a day over 100 yet, so the beach is not cram-packed with Sevillanos, so it's we got it to ourselves, basically. Looks like a fun day. This is the famous rock at Matalascañas, and so it's basically an old fort that used to sit up here on the cliffs up here, and you know, erosion took course, and eventually it fell off the cliff and rolled down the hill and landed out here in the water. It's a 3,000 euro fine to jump off of the rock, and please students, stay off the rock. We've had some indiscretions in the past, so this is the biggest thing we have to harp on to the students: stay off the rock. My favorite little by the beach restaurant here. Get some mariscos at Pedro Jose, and so we'll see what they got to eat today. Okay, I'm officially dipping my toes in the sand in the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm here to tell you that it is cold. So what are y'all doing today? Are y'all at the beach? We had something good to eat, and so we have a little more time left, 2.5 hours. We're gonna walk around and enjoy the day. Why does this feel so good? I don't even know. Here's our students having a big time at the beach today. We don't get to the beach much in Lubbock. Good time. The tide is coming in super fast. All this was dry about 20 minutes ago. Beautiful day. All right, goodbye beach. I'll see you again in summer 2. Today, I went down to the park to hear some live music, and I got there, but the band, they were a little short on talent, a little short. Well, they were a lot short. So in Sevilla, there is an electric tram that comes down, and this ends in the Plaza Nuevo. And then you can see the tracks here, and that runs down outside of the city. So it runs all the way down to the end. That stop that I just showed you is the end of the line. And then the tram reverses and goes back outside and out of the city. And then this is the main drag. You can see the top of the cathedral there coming into picture. And so this runs directly in front of the cathedral. But this also has one of my favorite buildings here. The city block comes together at a point here, so it's like a wedge. And this little building here is on the very tip of this wedge. I think it's just the coolest architecture. How do you put a building in not very much space? I think it's just magnificent. So here comes the tram. There's a movie with Cameron Diaz and Tom Cruise. I think it's called Night and Day. I can't remember, but it's actually shot here in Sevilla. And one of the scenes, Tom Cruise is on a motorcycle and Cameron Diaz is on the back of it, and they're zipping in and out of these trams, avoiding the bad guys, like in a high-speed chase. Well, in this movie they speed it up. This is how fast it really goes right here. So he's at a crawl. I could outwalk him almost, but you almost have to because he runs. Notice there's no guardrails, there's no anything. If you're in his way, he'll just blow the horn at you and tell you to get out of the way. And then people go right back just walking across the tracks like no big deal. By the way, the bottom floor down here, right here, it says for rent right now. So we could open up a store up right there. What do you want to sell? Also, you gotta love these bushes here, these big topiaries. They're cut into giant cubes. Kind of interesting. I could be the guy that gets up there to trim those off. Make sure they're flat on top. Another interesting city ordinance in the old town of Sevilla is you can't tear a building down completely. You can't change the facade of the building. So the facade of these buildings, where the doors are, where the window openings are, the shape of the roof, any of that has been the same since 1600, 1500. And so the only thing you can do, you can see this building here is under construction. There's a big crane on top of it. But if you look to those windows right there, you can see sky. What does that mean? That the only thing there for that building right now is the facade. Okay, just the front side of it. They have torn out the whole interior of that building and they're rebuilding the interior and they're gonna join it up to that exterior. But that's one of the things that you cannot change in the city. We also had a tour in my statics class. We went out on the roof of the center and we talked about these cranes, which are all over the city for the construction, how they worked and how they applied to what we were learning in class. And so students got they got a respect for what they were learning in class. It was really fun to see them realize what they were seeing. So this building here is the Edificio San Francisco. This is kind of the back side of the building, but this is a town hall, city hall. And what's interesting about this building, or these buildings, there's many of these in Sevilla, but this was built in 16th century. This is the town hall. But look at the images on this building, okay? All these images are all over the building. Okay, so we've got, let me zoom in a little bit. You got all kinds of things and little statues and intricate moldings. And these go all over the entire building. The interesting thing, like on these columns on either side of this archway, none of these patterns ever repeat. They're all done, you know, individually. And so they never repeat. And then they have these magnificent big wooden doors that are original to the building from 16th century. So I just think it's the amount of craftsmanship that goes into something like this is really incredible. You go down to Lubbock, Texas to the federal courthouse building or the city hall. It's just a plain stone building with nothing on it. That just will not do here. So just so, I want y'all to be here with me, but just if you're, you know, you're watching, just so you get the vibe. We have a light breeze, very light breeze, temperature about 72 degrees. Everybody is out enjoying the evening. These are pretty much all Sevillanos because American tourists or any tourists not allowed into the country weren't allowed into the country until the 7th of June this year. And so Sevillanos just love to be outside, enjoying each other, enjoying the outdoors. The temperature is beautiful. You can see the breeze blowing there. And it's just a wonderful time to be out on the city. The city doesn't wake up until about 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. It doesn't get dark here till after 10 p.m. And so restaurants aren't even open for dinner. You can't even go in until 9 o'clock. So from 9 till 11 pretty much is going to be come out and enjoy some dinner when the temperature is nice, because in the summer it's going to just continue to get hotter and hotter and hotter here. And also just know that if I lived here, in about 0.7 seconds I would have a moto, because this is the perfect way to get around this city. There's an ad for the Port of Seville, which we toured earlier, that you got a shot of. That's kind of cool. So me and all the Americano students today are we're going for Mexican food. The old Texas students can't be long without our Mexican food, so we're going to La Cantina again. It's, well, once every 10 days I got to go over there and have me some, it's like you have to have the sauce intravenously pumped into your arm so that you have a little tiny bit of back home again. And so looking forward to seeing Oscar at La Cantina Mexicana and getting some good food. Wish y'all were here. This is how you get to my little favorite Mexican food restaurant. You got to know where this place is or you just can't find it. But he stays packed. Everybody knows where he is. Go in here in this nice little patio. Isn't this beautiful? Little restaurant here on the left. Some people enjoying a Tinto Verano. I'm gonna go around this way to another little patio. And another restaurant which is split on the left and the right. And there is La Cantina over there. So another little restaurant here, and then another one up here, all around this little plaza, around this little courtyard. And isn't it it's a beautiful place to come sit and relax, have a refreshing beverage. There you go, amigos. This is the enchilada verde. If we could bottle this sauce, we'll be millionaires, won't we? Mm-hmm. There you go. This stuff is good. There's our special picture. We're back here at our favorite place.